Hey everybody, welcome again to This Woman Can. I am your host Janice Sutherland, career strategist for the ambitious woman of colour over 40. And I am so delighted that you can join me today. As always, I look forward to your interaction, your feedback and comments. Now, let's get into this week's topic. And last week I received an email that said, "Hey Janice, I follow you on social media and love the work you do. You're so lucky to have found a career you love doing. I wish I could. I wish I was like you, but I can never be that brave, not at this age." Now, I was flattered. I love getting feedback and I do consider myself to be a quintessential success story. But in no way do I consider that down to luck. It really was down to a lot of hard work and self-honesty. So let me share a little bit. For me, after a tumultuous first marriage, I'd risen to the dizzying heights of being the first female CEO in a male-dominated industry in my ancestral Caribbean home. So you know a little bit my story. I live in an island paradise and I have a husband who does everything in his remit to make me happy. At 52, a few years ago, I reached a point in my career when I felt both unfulfilled and confined by my corporate role, the role I was doing. I'd changed. I was consistently out of whack. I was unsatisfied with the work I was doing and generally just felt full of anxiety and miserable. And there could probably be factors for that. The values from my 30s, my wealth, achievement, recognition, all of which I'd achieved at a far greater level than I'd envisaged, really no longer resonated with me, which was really, really confusing. And all that ran through my head was, what was I going to do? What was I going to do if this wasn't it? What was I going to do? And I wanted to know, was it time for me to shed that skin I was in? And by that, I mean, we often come attached to a particular narrative, get my words out, a narrative that we may have outgrown or we've held on to because we're too scared to take that next step, or we don't want to go against societal norms. All of these things stunt our growth. And it can be really easy to see how we can lose our identity in a job, a role or a career, because we spend so much time doing that. We refer to our work, family, work, wife, husband, and we're encouraged to socialize with the people we work with to create that bond. And for many of us who are now in the days where there are no longer jobs for life, we experience changes in work patterns through restructuring, promotions, and we have an ability to adopt chameleon-like tendencies. Of course we do, because we have to stay in the role. And we change according to our surroundings. And I did all of that. And in the process of doing that, our personal identity, who we are, often gets parked until ? Now, as I departed from the corporate life, as I decided to make that change, I didn't have a plan. I really had in all honesty, I was really struggling to define what I wanted from my new life. What did success look like? In my corporate career, it's really easy to answer that question, because success was defined by how well I achieved my goals, the position I'd held, the money I earned, and the physical displays of success, shoes, cars, etc. And moving from that corporate life presented great opportunities, but without solidifying my ultimate goal, I found myself trying on different personas and different business guises, and I was looking for the undefined measures of success I associated with each. And I had to go through a whole program, a whole exercise. And I was doing all my personal branding, who was I, that kind of stuff. And I discovered that my brand, apart from giving me fabulous photos, was really causing me to undergo a lot of introspection. And during the session, my coach, all good coaches have one, it transpired that I was still trying to measure my worth based on my old external factors, rather than defining what success meant to me in my new world or at this age or in this new generation, this new age I found myself. And my coach quite rightly pointed out that I could totally articulate what I didn't want. But what I really needed to articulate was, what did I want? And yeah, she left me to sleep on that question. So a question I asked my clients is, who are you without the title, without the job? Is it time to let go of your old personal identity? And I ask that, as I said, because we often become attached to a possibly outdated narrative that has dominated, for the time, dominated a definitive period in our lives. For example, we never have enough resources to go around, so I need to sacrifice my personal comforts and stay in a role I no longer enjoy to ensure my family needs are met. Or we tell ourselves, I'm not a true leader in my organisation yet, so I can't ask for that promotion, even though you've been doing the job for quite a while. Or you even tell yourself, I've spent years working to get this far in a career. It's all I know. And yeah, at the time, they all seem valid in our head, but the problem arises when we unknowingly outgrow that prevailing story. And the narrative, the story we've been telling ourselves, no longer serves us. So I'm going to ask you, have you outgrown your old idea of who you are? In the years, the months since you first devised your current idea of yourself, who you wanted to be, you've most likely evolved, and you should have evolved. You may have gotten stronger, more accomplished, more connected, and more respected in your field. And yet you're only giving yourself credit for the person you used to be. Do you hear that? The person you used to be. And then when we get to making that move, we're focusing on the what ifs. If it didn't work, then what? So what if it doesn't work now? I wasn't qualified for the role and was rejected 5 years. What if I'm not good? I'm not as good as I think I am now. My relationships seem to fall apart after 6 months. We're 5 months into that relationship now. What if it all falls apart? These are the questions, things we tell ourselves that plague us when we're on the cusp, the real cusp of something new. But sometimes, in the interim, while we've been waiting for all those things to fall apart, we tell ourselves it's not going to happen. They've actually been working out in our favour. And we've been blinkered, we've been blind to our good fortune. So take a little step back and see if it sounds familiar. And have you been so tied to your past identity, your past failures, and who you used to be, that you've been sleeping on your new reality? Yeah. Are you actually already living the dream you always held for yourself? But instead of celebrating it, you're living in that past. It may be time for you to let go of your old ideas about who you used to be. And think about the different things on your dream list. Is what you say you want showing up already for you? Maybe it is, but maybe it's in a different format you just didn't expect. Have a think, really sit down. What does success need to look like or feel like for you to be able to see it, to know it's there? And to be sure, make a list of what you've always said you wanted. Is it that loving relationship? Is it a career path you enjoy and excel at? If you're self-employed, is it a new roster of clients for your own business? Is it financial independence? Whatever it is, make that list. And then when you've done that list, examine your current reality and be really honest with yourself. Do you already have some of those things on some level? Is there any evidence to support that you already have what you want? I had to do that and realise I had a lot more going for me than I realised. And last, intentionally think through the narrative that you can change internally. What have you been telling yourself that's no longer valid? Because as we know, what you focus on will grow. And right now, this is the perfect time for you to explore those ideas. Now, I'd love to hear how you get on with that exercise. I'm always keen to hear back from listeners and viewers. What's shaping your reality? Where do you need to go next? What are you not comfortable about changing? What is it you need help changing with? All that and more is stuff I can help you. So head over to my website, janicesutherland.com. Find out more information. Join my free programs. Join my paid programs. Look at all the ways that I can help you. Let's have an exploratory, non-obligatory chat about how I can help you. And like I said, I always love listening to hear your feedback or hearing from you. And if there's something that's getting in your way, something that you've been telling yourself that's blocking you, or something you think that's making you feel a little stuck, reach out. You never know where this can go. So, as always, if I can, you can, this woman can. Take care until next time.